iconic gold jacket ceremony, one of our favorite nights of the calendar in the NFL world. It's Friday, August 2nd at 9 p.m. Eastern. Kyle, who are you most looking forward to?
I like the guys who had to fight to get in. As much as we like the first ballot guys, I look at someone like Kevin Mawai, who was in the trenches for years and finally gets in. Those, Kate, are sometimes the guys who really just start crying in the middle of it, and we all join them.
Ed Reed, Champ Bailey, a handful of the greatest players, living legends. And Pat Bowlen, of course, whose family will be up there. It'll be an emotional night for everybody involved there. And that all kicks off only right here on NFL Network. And then there's the young guys who look at this ceremony, the speeches, and they want to be there someday. Yeah. One of those guys is Daniel Jones. And he has been scrutinized under the microscope since draft day. And that criticism continued when this play from Giants training camp went viral, as most things do these days. Yeah, not a great throw. Haters jumped all over DJ, but Saquon Barkley quick to defend the number 6 pick on Friday. He said, LOL, our instead of forcing the pass, LMAO. People swear they know football.
What's that stand for?
The Giants organization they've always had a different view of Daniel Jones than the people outside the building. We hear it. It's there. It's palpable. Has the public and the media been too harsh when it comes to him and Gettleman?
Daniel Jones, yes. I mean, Daniel Jones has done nothing wrong, guys. He seems like a great guy, trying his hardest. It's just so easy because he looks like little Eli. I call him Wheeli. He acts like it's the Britney guy. But as far as Gettleman, no. Look, Gettleman brought this all on himself. Gettleman is the guy who we love him because he's a great quote, but he's not necessarily the smartest quote. This is the guy who said, you don't give up on talent, and then he gives up on Odell. The guy who said, we didn't sign Odell just to trade him, and then he literally traded Odell. So, no, he sits up there and he holds court and is a great character, but now there's going to be blowback, guys, because it's going sideways on him. So leave Daniel Jones alone, but do what you want with Gettleman. He asked for it.
I believe criticism is fine. You know, when you're a six pick overall and you're a first rounder, you know, of course you take the criticism. I mean, if you're a third rounder, fourth rounder, even a free agent, if you make mistakes, yeah, nobody's going to beat you down. But if you're one of those guys that the organization looks at and says, this guy's going to be our future, fine, criticize him. Because when you're doing good, guess what? Everybody's criticizing, we'll praise you. Gettleman, on the other hand, when you look at their wide receivers, them being banged up, Golden Tate with the suspension for now, yeah, of course you're going to question the guy that traded away Odell Beckham, who looks healthy, who looks motivated, and is going to have one hell of a season with the Browns. So criticism, yes, everybody needs a little bit more of that. As a player, I was always open to criticism because when I did well, I wanted those same faces to praise me after me balling out.
Frankly, I thought it was a fantastic pass and an even better catch. Unfortunately, none of the camera angles were able to catch the reception on the other end. It was on the hop. A little one-handed action by your boy.
Hey!
Yeah, that's right. You know,
Mike, you're a healthy receiver. They need you.
I
had a mic in one hand. I caught it with one. It was really like this, but in my mind, it was like this.
Yeah.
Is it on film?
No,
it
never happened.
Nobody needed that blonde hair, Mike.
Question for you, though, because this criticism isn't just the media here in New York, and it's not just the fan base of the Giants. It sort of extends beyond that. You sat with Landon Collins in Richmond yesterday at camp, former Giant veteran and leader.
Don't say G word.
Yes, and he had this to say. Take a look.
That reference to the other team right there, about as subtle as a sledgehammer. We are still not saying the G word. Is that how we're doing it? And by we, I mean you.
By myself, yeah.
Yes. Is that the plan throughout the season? I mean, is it a feeling of what is it toward that organization? You won't even say the name of the team.
It's not really just a team. It's more one person, you know. Everybody know who that person is. But it's just that guy that kind of breaks up brotherhoods, breaks up leadership, breaks up a team almost. I feel like it just went down here from that standpoint as I look at it from the outside in now.
It's becoming crystal clear that Dave Gettleman is what they referred to in Seinfeld as a bad breaker-upper, right? You got a big head. That bird flew right into your head. I don't know what it is, but every one of these guys that leaves either the Panthers or the Giants has nothing but vitriol toward Dave Gettleman.
100%. Is there something he did wrong? Do you blame him for that, Mike?
No. I mean, the only thing he could have done was give Landon Collins the franchise tag and have him play on the franchise tag. But Gettleman is using the franchise tag in the true spirit of the tag tag, which is you give the guy a tag if you plan on doing a long-term deal with him. He didn't want to do it with Josh Norman at the number that Norman didn't want, or Norman wanted, and he didn't want to do it at the number that Landon Collins wanted, so he let these guys walk and figured, I'll just figure out a solution elsewhere. It's incredible, but these guys, the way that they respond to it, I can't wait, because it's going to be a continuing storyline with Landon Collins.
Of course, and they get to face each other twice this year at least. Let's go to Will Selva. He's out in the newsroom in Culver City on this Monday. Hey, Will.
Hey, what's going on there, Kay, fellas? Well, Melvin Gordon's holdout from Chargers training camp is grabbing, of course, all the headlines in Costa Mesa, California. But what eventually might make the most news for the Bolts is the contract situation of one Philip Michael Rivers. Rivers is in the final year of his current deal, but doesn't seem too worried about negotiations. In fact, Rivers telling SiriusXM NFL Radio he's fine playing this thing out, and the expectation and hope is to be with the Chargers next year. He's scheduled to make $11 million. He'll also get a $5 million roster bonus. Antonio Brown descending upon Raiders training camp as only he can in a hot air balloon. The wide receiver cleared for practice on Sunday after passing a physical. The team had listed AB on the non-football injury list to begin training camp. And as grand of an entrance as that was, AB had to be jealous of seeing this. Or maybe he was looking at Jaguars corner Jalen Ramsey with envy, thinking, oh yeah, the Brinks truck. Why didn't I think of that first? Well, Ramsey addressing reporters for the first time since his dramatic arrival to training camp and broke down his thought process behind the truck idea.
A lot of people took it way too serious. HaHa Davis, I don't know if y'all know, he's a comedian. Yeah, he's a comedian. He's a really funny, probably my favorite comedian right now. Pretty pop. I thought he was popping, you know what I'm saying? I thought he was famous. Everybody was going to catch it off the rip. But, yeah, I thought it was fun. Yeah, it was cool.
Oh, I love his explanation for it. So it didn't seem like a lot of people, in his estimation, enjoyed the joke or like what he was doing. I wonder why. I mean, come on. Coming in a Brinks truck, who doesn't like that? Who does that?
I liked it.
Nate loved it. I did too.
Yeah. Of course.
It's the
That's
best.
what we always say, right? When a guy gets broke off, he's backing up the Brinks truck.
You know what
Our Cynthia Freeland calculated. Thank you. Our Cynthia Freeland calculated how much you can get into a Brinks truck. It was like $500 million.
Is that right?
Yep.